Colts Quick Cuts. Ryan, Jeff.
Jeff.
We're trying something a little bit different today. We're trying remote Quick Cuts. Sometimes it's a little bit tougher to get together and do them, in the studio. So we thought, you know what? Let's fire it up and do a remote one. So we're 2 weeks into the season, right? Yeah, I mean, a little bit more than that. What are your thoughts on the first 2 weeks for the Colts?
Well, I mean, overall, I don't think you could really say too much bad about the team right now. They've played 6 games this season. They've got 4 wins. They've got 1 loss in a shootout and then in regulation. So they got 9 points right now. They're in second in the Central Division, so they're just trailing the Sudbury Wolves, who have 1 more point, but they do have 2 games in hand. So Barrie's got a little bit of time to hopefully get a couple wins. They've got the game tonight against Kingston Frontenacs, who have won. They won their first game last night, and then they're in Hamilton on Monday for an afternoon game. So, they're in a really good spot. They've got a great winning percentage right now. They haven't been beaten regulation in the last 3 games, which would have been a blessing as a Colt fan last season. And right now, it looks good. It's looking good so far, anyways. A lot of the guys have been producing pretty well. Matej Pekar has already got 7 goals and 2 assists. And then you got a guy like Tyson Forrester, who's just been lighting it up this year, 5 goals, 4 assists. So they're the 2-point leaders with 9 right now. And now that Suzuki seems to be getting kind of back into the groove since rejoining the team from Carolina camp. They've been getting wins, and we've been playing the last couple games without Tyler Tucker, who was suspended for 3 games. He'll return tonight. And we've also been without Jake Tortora, who still has, I think, 5 more games left in his suspension. So
let's talk about that a little bit. A little bit of a weird. Tucker's, couple games is what it is.
That's the OHL standard for a play like that, so there's no surprises.
You look at Tortora, though. I think that's probably the most significant thing that's happened so far this year. In the first couple weeks, right? What are your takes on that? I saw a clip that you had taken of the play. Pretty reckless. I don't remember seeing that from him last year. I saw a little bit of chirpiness, maybe. He's a bit of an agitator on the ice, but I didn't see anything where it was like, what the hell was that? What did you take away from that game? Was it just it was 8-0 and he did something stupid?
I think it was just a situation where everybody was frustrated. And he didn't really do obviously anything quite to that extreme last year, but as you mentioned, we did see moments where, he had that feistiness to him. But obviously Matej Pekar, he's got a feistiness to his game. He's an agitator, and it works for his game. And, a guy like Jake Tortora, if he wants to incorporate that into what he does, that's fine. But, obviously you need to know where the line is. And especially with, now you might want to brace yourself for this because it might not seem like something that's regular here in Barrie. I don't know if you can see me rolling my eyes, but the Colts are leading the league with penalty minutes again already this season. They've got 118 penalty minutes already this year, and that's through 6 games. The only other team that has over 100 is Saginaw, and they've got 109, but they've played 3 more games than the Colts at this point. No other team, I don't believe, in the league has. So, unfortunately, I think that was kind of one thing that I was kind of looking forward to the possibility of changing when Warren Reichel filled in because, penalty minutes in the Colts have gone hand to hand for the last pretty much since we've had the site up and running. And
maybe more discipline, right? Maybe a more
discipline's a huge thing. And the big thing for the team, too, as well, is they're not doing too great with special teams, So, luckily, this hasn't been an issue that has cost them really any games yet. That one blowout game where Tortora and Tucker got suspended aside, Other than that, I mean, but the issue is moving forward that this could become a problem. This could become an issue. And while it hasn't affected them yet, you really want to kind of figure out how to do this before it gets out of control.
Did something weird just happen?
You kind of cut out for a split second, but you're back.
Okay. Well, through the technology that we have, we will be able to edit that.
Or we'll leave it. We'll see.
Yeah. Or we'll leave it. Yeah, that's kind of how we roll. Yeah, I definitely got a phone call about something, and I don't know who it was. Maybe I won a free trip again, and I didn't answer.
I've won just the other day at work. I won 3 trips.
Really?
I think the call keeps coming from Kitchener, so
maybe
I don't
Rangers?
know what's going on. They're just trying to get us out of town. They're like, stop putting cat heads on hockey players. You're embarrassing hockey.
So back to the task at hand. So let's hope that was an isolated incident. I mean, and we don't see something like that again. Now, when Tortora comes back, because they're playing pretty well, it's gonna be tough for him to get back in right away. Or do you think he's just automatic put him back in?
I think that the mindset might be because he hasn't really produced. I think the way that, well, myself, but like many people coming into the year, he hasn't really been producing. I mean, he's played 3 games this year. He's got 7 shots on goal. He's a -1, no goals, no assists, and I know that the team has higher expectations of him. So I would imagine that the team would kind of be optimistic that after serving this suspension, hopefully he kind of comes back, gets his head where it needs to be. And, because I mean, Jake Tortora is a good producer for the team. And, if he's a guy that if he's playing the game the way that he can play the game, I mean, he played 33 games last year, got just under 25 points, I believe, and that's a guy that, in his second year in the O, we need to start kind of picking up the pace. So the only issue I could see running into is as we get closer to the deadline for deciding what overagers the team wants to roll with, is and even then, I don't see him as being the odd man out. I really think that he'll come back, he'll start to produce, and he'll kind of get back to his game. I think that the big thing for him is just going to be finding his production while maintaining that little bit of an edge that he has to his game, because you don't want a guy to lose that. It's part of his game. He just needs to kind of find that, kind of like Ben Howard-Chuck. And last year, Ben Howard-Chuck did a good job of dialing it back a little bit, and it translated very well for him on the score sheet.
He's more productive. Absolutely more productive.
Yeah. So, and but like I said, you don't want to lose that edge, because same as with like Picard, who we mentioned earlier, that's part of their game. And the second you kind of eliminate something that they're accustomed to doing, it usually affects other aspects of the game. So they just really need to kind of find that healthy balance of getting under the skin of opponents, physically and through production.
Nice. So I think we can agree, don't do stupid shit.
I think that's fair. Yeah. Just get points, try to stay in the box, and this team can run. Exactly.
All right. That is our latest episode of Quick Cuts. Jeff.
Ryan.
Have a hell of a day, folks. We are at the game tonight versus Kingston. Not sure if we'll get this post up or not, but
I'm going to try to. Big one today. 2 Don Mills Flyers, Shane Wright and Brant Clark meeting in their first OHL game tonight. And Fresca is playing his brother. So this is one of those games where you go into it saying this is the Colts game and they're going to win it, and then they end up getting blown out. So I want to say that Barrie is going to win it, but you never know.
All right, that's our take. Peace.
Shaft graphic, Jack Carroll, black class poetry. Even when I ghost write, everybody know it's me. My diction exhibits a distinguished eloquence. Linguist possessing alien intelligence. Best fed gas, fuel, electric.